She stood there all alone, just standing over their graves, deep down wishing to herself that she could crawl down and lay beside them. It was a cloudy day, but it felt warm, as if the sun was shining brightly, even in its hidden phase. She knelt down first, and then she laid down completely flat on the freshly cut grass that was green with envy of those who can just stop by and leave whenever they wanted to, instead of being bound forever to its soil. She understood how the grass felt because she too was envious, not of those people, but of those blades of grass that had become her earthly pillow. She wished she could lay there forever through all the changes of the seasons, just as she could be with Mom and Dad again. It's been over a year that they both went away, but the pain never does. She cries herself to sleep each night and awakens in anger every morning. In each mirror of her home are the pictures that remind her of how much she loved them, and in turn, the love they gave to her. Sometimes, she will even stop and stand in front of the living room mirror and pretend that she is standing there with them. She positions herself so that her reflection is standing right next to their smiling faces in the photos. For an instant, she is reunited with them, and the pain goes away, like the years lost. But that instant doesn't last forever, unlike her pain. As she lays there, she puts her right ear down onto the ground, hoping for a sign or a sound, anything. Secretly, she hopes that one of their arms will embrace her again, pulling her under the grass and over towards the other side. It's crazy, she thinks to herself, but it's the only thing that keeps her sane these days. The thought of being with them once more consumes her every breath. Each step she takes in life, she hopes, will allow her to meet up with Mom and Dad that much faster. In fact, if she believed running would speed their reunion up, she would put on the best track shoes money could buy. However, once again, all she hears is silence below and the birds above. She won't give up. She can't. She knows one day they will come for her, bringing her down there with them to be a family once more, like they swore to each other. The days, they become more difficult for her to go through, but the promise of their reunion helps some of the pain, but not all of it. It doesn't stop the endless flow of tears, but it gives her something to look forward to instead of sadness and emptiness. As she rises from the ground, she never cleans off her pants because she wants to bring their house to hers. She looks down at their graves and says the prayers that they taught her as a child. She smiles, knowing that they do hear her and she can still feel them. She wipes a tear from her eye and says her final prayer. It's getting late, and she has to go home to clean all the mirrors before the morning. She has to make sure that she will be able to see herself standing with her mom and dad tomorrow in the mirror. A kiss she blows to each one of them as she tells them, "I'm ready to come with you so we can be a family again. I love you, and I miss you, and I know you shall come for me when it's my time." 10 years have passed, and on this day, one of the cemetery workers finds her body lying next to her parents' graves. He checks her vitals, even though he already understands her condition. She's gone. He looks down and sees her head is to the ground, but her arms are outstretched, almost as if she's holding something or someone. He finds it odd that even though she is lying on the wet grass, there are no grass stains. He contacts his boss and then the authorities. Later in the day, the authorities go into her home along with her lifelong neighbor Susan. Susan takes them all around the house just so they can finish up the work to close the case. As they are getting ready to leave, Susan stops in the living room and looks at the mirror on the wall. She sees the pictures of Tina's mother and father, but also sees a picture of Tina standing next to them and thinks that's rather odd. She doesn't ever remember that photo, but then again, it has been a while since she's been inside the house. The detective looks at the picture himself and then turns to Susan and says, "You'd think if she was going to have her picture taken with her parents, she'd at least clean those grass stains off her pants." You've just heard The Daughter's Wish, a short story written by John J. Ruppert, August 7, 2014, revised August 10th, 2019. It was recorded, spoken, and effects added by me, John J. Ruppert, August 10th, 2019. Be safe and be creative.